Welcome to the channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Langers, and as you can see, I am the Scruffy trader. On this early morning, on the 5th of August, 7:30, been having a look through the markets for the last hour or so. It's what I do each morning. I'll come in and I will check certain websites for economic news, see where there's some movement. I make up a spreadsheet, thin out the herd, and then I'll go through the charts and I'll thin those charts down till I find a prime candidate. And the idea of these morning watch videos are to show you a little bit of what I'm looking for, but more importantly, to upload the video before I do the trade. So when you see the live trades later on today, you'll have seen the little bit of homework that goes behind it. And if you're one of the Scruffy squad, a member, you'll get to see these video hours before anybody else. But let's have a little delve into what I've been looking at this morning. Well, I always start my day in the same place, which is Finviz. Always do. Okay, come along, and what I'm interested in is I'll have a quick look at this heat map, but it's really this block. And if you've never seen it before, it's an excellent snapshot of the movers and the shakers in the forex market. So you can see that the Australian is strong and the US is weak. And that's what all the scale is telling you. But they're all on the up, you know, because there isn't any of them in the red. You know, these go from like bright red to bright green. And the way it works is very simple. If that's the weakest, that's the strongest. And if you want to put a score on, I plot these on a spreadsheet. That would be 1, that would be 8. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That sort of thing. And I do this through various other bits and pieces. So that's the first area I've been looking at. So I'm going to pay close attention to the Aussie, but I'm actually going to pay a lot of attention to the dollar today, because for all it's the weakest, what it's telling me is there's going to be movement around that currency, and likewise with this. So the CAD in the US are pretty good contenders to have a look at today. But what I will say, when you're looking at these strength indicators and one thing and another, and it's the very reason I won't ever give out my sheet figures, it's because people think it's a trigger. It's not a trigger. All you want to be taking from these grids, and when I pull up my spreadsheet and I have a look at that, is it's movement, not direction. Okay, all it's telling you is it's common sense to put a weak against a strong, simply because they will move about, you know, not necessarily in the direction you think. They will just move. But if they are of equal strength, like these ones here, you know, there's not a lot in them, and there's certainly not a lot in there. They will just do that. They won't go anywhere. All right, whereas you want a good shift in sentiment. So that's kind of what I use this for. I'll then have a quick glance at the economic calendar for today. And all I am looking for is high impact news. I don't trade the news, but I'm very aware that it's there. And my theory is very simple. I will trade up to an hour before the event. I will watch the event and have nothing in the markets unless I am risk-free. If I'm risk-free, I'll just let it get on with it. But I will not initiate any trades around a news event, let the dust settle, and then carry on. Okay, that's kind of what I do. You'll have to excuse me today. I've got a bit of hay fever, and my nose is bunged up. Coffee will fix it. because we all know Scruffy likes a coffee. So let's have a look, see what we got. There's not a lot going on today. All right. There's employment out at 1 o'clock, like 1:15. Balance of trade for the CAD. So again, adds weight as to why I want to watch this. There'll be a lot of activity on these this afternoon. And the balance of trade for the US. So between 1 and 2 this afternoon, looks like there'll be a bit of movement around the markets. Now, I don't want to be in the trades between 1 and 2, so I'll trade up to about lunch, watch what goes on, and then I'll see if there's anything afterwards. But if I've hit my mark in the morning, that's it. Don't need to start hunting for anything else. And then what we're looking at is this. If you have a good look through these, this is a good website, guys. And I do recommend you use it. It's called Investingcom. And these technicals are excellent. I'll just pull up. I'll show you for why. So you can drill into it. Pulls up a chart, tells you exactly what's going on. Well, we'll pull a chart up in a moment. There you go. You can set it to a candlestick if that's what you want. The only downside, it's dreadful for pop-ups. But there's a chart. You can flip through. You can just quickly glance, see exactly what's going on at any one time before you go onto your own charts. Gives you all of the news. There's a squawk box to the side. It's normally full of armchair pundits who seem to think they know everything, but actually when you read it, they don't know a lot, but it's good for a laugh. But the bit that's interesting is the technical side. Pull up your technical. And again, you can pull it on anything you want. And I get my scores from this. I just have a look through these here to see what's going on. And it'll tell you across all of the time frames, whether it's a strong buy, whether it's a weak buy, a sell, a whole lot, loads of information. And there's your grid. That there tells you how that strong buy is being made up, because it's looking at multiple indicators, moving averages, you name it, it looks at it, but it puts it into a compact little area. So you don't need any of your indicators on the charts because they're all here. It tells you exactly what they are. And then it works out an average. Simple stuff, guys. But once you start getting your head round it and you can read it, like here, there's all of the time frames. You know, you got your 5, your 10, your 20, your 50, your 100, and your 200 moving averages. It's all you need, you know. So tell me, why do you need to put these on the chart? You can have a quick snapshot at this. You can see exactly what it is, and then you pull your chart up. Simple stuff, okay? So once I've gone through all of this, I'll collate it onto a sheet, which I do every morning. And this particular sheet, what I'm looking at, I was told the other week about saying that I don't do a lot of pips, apparently. Okay. I think I've done okay. You know, where are we at? 243 in the last 2 days, you know, and they're my trades. It looks a lot. It's not. Yesterday, I actually only traded twice, but I broke them up into 6 positions each, because I often do that. You'll see me stack trades. So it was actually only 2 trades broken up. Paid me very well. So I do that, and then I'll fill in my checklist. Okay. And I actually agree with Finviz. When I've worked it out, I think the change of strength, as you can see there, my Aussie is the strongest and my USD is the weakest. So it's married up. So my maths has been reasonably correct. So once I've worked this out, I'll just pull that over to there. I'll start looking at some charts. Now, I've been paying close attention to this since Monday, and what I'm essentially waiting for, I think this is going to drop this week. If I go out to a daily, it's had a solid drive up, didn't come back to the 50%, so this journey hasn't quite finished yet. It's meandered up, but as you can see, it's not really steep anymore, it's slowing down. So as this comes out of this area into this one, which I'm hoping it might hit there sometime today, I'll trade this, and I'll be looking to short this to come all the way down into this area here on the bottom of this section. So that's a decent move, and this is something I'll be looking at as a swing trade. And when you're looking at swing trades, I look at the dailies and enter on the 4 hourlies. Now, if I look at this, see, this is that section that we were talking about. I want it to come into here for an entry to move a good way down. Okay, so I'm definitely keeping an eye on this. I'll crunch it up and show you exactly why. So when that gets into here, be able to look to short to get under this structure point. So that's a good old move. That I can live with that. That's like about 100 pips, you know, but it'll take a couple of days or so to get there. All right, but I want to be sure first, because at the moment this looks like it's pushing up, and that's why these levels are important, because they're roadmaps to where you're going to go. And I don't fancy being caught at checkpoint Charlie here, so I'll wait for it to break. Well, let's have a look, see what we've got in store today. So I said I was going to have a nice little look at the dollar. So again, here we are. In fact, this is priming up lovely. Look at this. That's never even looked back to here. All right, it's come down, it's bounced off that level, it's gone back to that level, it hasn't broke it, it's gone down, retested that, shot up and stopped dead on that level. Excellent. Let's take this down to an hour. I like cable, I trade cable quite a lot. So again, you can see the drive up, it's come down, it's respected all the levels that I've put in. That is a full-on rejection. That is great. Put an indicator on, bolly. All right, so contained within the bolly, it's not overstretched. I would have liked to have seen it pierce that. Basic RSI on. Let's see what that's got to say. I like to colour my RSIs in. Where are we at? 70. Box it. 30. Just standard. Okay. So still room to the upside. This might push through there to here. Sort of rattle the tops of these two as a retest. And what that'll be doing is that'll be tempting in buyers for a sell. And those buyers might have their stops under there, so there's a high probability you could get down into here. Yeah, I'll be watching this today with great interest. Yeah, I'll be watching it to sell it. Okay, but I want to see it get to the top of this volley first, see if it breaks this. If it breaks this, I want it to break that. Then I'll be looking to enter when it retests and comes back. That's the plan with that one. Let's have a look, see what else we've got. Euro dollar. And not a lot happening there. Not a lot happening there. Okay. Actually, this is a good example to show you guys. On the strength meter, it showed you that the Australian dollar was stronger than the US dollar. The strongest versus the weakest. So in theory, your direction would be up, and it is up. You can see it here. You know, it's lovely. But look, it's oversold, overbought rather, massively. It's pushing on the outside of the volley and it's coming back. So there's a good chance that can reverse. So all you're doing is looking for a roadmap and direction. So if there's going to be good movement, which there is, that could push to the tops of here. But if it is, it's just going to go more and more into this. And each time you see it, I know RSIs are not the most reliable thing in the world. But if you're on an hourly and above, and they're over those extremes, there's a good chance that it'll come back. You know, see there, it's reacted each time. Let's go out to the 4 hour and have a little look. Right, that's hardly looked back, really hasn't. So over the course of today, I could get up into here, push to the top of this volley. You can see it's trying to. That is definitely a bullish candle pushing up. But when that gets up there, there's going to be a good drop. Just like that. All right. Take it out to a day. See what's happening on the day. Seeing again on the day. It's been pushing up and pushing up and pushing up. It can't do it indefinitely. So keep an eye on that one as well. Okay. What else have we got? USCAD. Now this one caught a lot of people out yesterday. But this one is definitely something I'll be keeping an eye on today. I think there's a good probability that's going to push down and then bounce. Yeah, whopping big sell that. Definitely keeping an eye on this. There's no reason why it should be selling off the way it is. I think it caught a lot of people out. There's a W pattern there. Right the way down. Try to push up, and then it's just sold off. But it's on the out of the volley, very stretched, very oversold on all time frames. So I'll be looking for that to push down. I won't sell into this. I'd be looking to buy this. but I need to see some signals for me to get in. Okay, so there's that. What else we got? That's about it. There's not a lot going on anywhere else. £1, not a lot. Quick look at the indices. FTSE, not a great deal there. And the DAX. I do like the DAX. The DAX is a great market. I trade this quite a lot. It's a dangerous market because it moves very quickly. That's pushing up. Yeah. I'd want to see that come up to about here and then look for a reversal. So possibly this afternoon. All right. So I'm just going to look at these 5 markets today. The main one I'll be watching is this one, USCAD. Just interested to see how the news events will play out with it this afternoon. And also cable. So I'm going to watch them across the morning. At least one of them will be traded. If you remember, I only look for a couple £100 a day. And as soon as the conditions come into play, I will thin those 5 down into 1, trade the single market, 2 at best, and that's it. I won't try and trade all of them, because if I do, I've just got a higher probability of losing, and I'm not in these markets to lose. I'm in it to make some money. So that's what I do. I've thinned the herd down into these markets. I'll keep an eye on them. As soon as they come into play, it's now coming on to 8 o'clock. There's nothing ready as yet. I don't like trading the open, simply because it's wild card. Anything can happen in the first sort of 30, 45 minutes. So I'll sit, enjoy my Cocoa Pops, have another cup of coffee, and see what we can find. So when I do the live trade this afternoon, it'll be one of these markets, unless there's a radical change this morning, but there's nothing really jumping out. So it'll be one of these guys. Okay. All right. I'll see you on the other side. And remember, guys, do what you love, the money will follow. See you later.